that personally we've got so much more to prove that we're still hungry, and that's why earlier I said I feel like we're still the hunters, because if you're hungry enough, you're gonna go get it, and I feel like that's what we got. We got a bunch of guys who are young and hungry, and a bunch of guys who are old and experienced that just know what it takes. And Coach DJ being behind us with the experience that he has, just telling us and paving the way for us, really showing us what it takes to get to that next level.
I got a team who's willing to run through fire and break down barriers to back that up. And so I think, to be honest, I think we've been the hunted for the last 2-3 years. And Gavin being a 4-year player on varsity, this being his senior season, I think he's just adapted it, and the guys underneath him have just followed behind his suit.
I mean, from the summer, from games just being so close to the summer till now, we've always said it, and we continue to say it, that we've been in these situations. So being down, 17 with 5 minutes left in the game, that was insane. I mean, everybody in the stands thought we had lost by that point. The game's over, like, they're going home. But us as a group in the timeouts and the huddles, staying together, we knew that we had been there, and we could find a way to pull it out. So, I mean, I don't know. I felt like my shot was good that whole game, and it wasn't falling. But then Jimmy Hughes, right at the end of the quarter, gave me that one look for three. I hit it, and from there, it was just the ball kept finding me. And I was like, if my team has the ability to trust me, I've got to go do something for the team. So I made sure that we could have a chance to pull that one out near the end.
You are now listening to the District 2 Sports Podcast, available on Podbean, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. It costs you nothing to smash that like button. Leave us a review and follow District 2 Sports on Facebook, X, and Instagram for more content and coverage. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, so District 2 Sports Podcast, and we have another great episode for you tonight. We have the EC Glass Hilltoppers boys basketball team on. We have Coach DJ Best and the senior forward, Mr. Gavin Arthur, one of the captains there for the Hilltoppers. What can we say? This team is 20-0, number one in our poll, number one in a lot of polls. Look to make a run there in the Class 4. Hopefully get to the Siegel Center and get a ring possibly. So we'll see what happens. But first, they have a game tonight against Brookville, trying to end the regular season there at 21-0, and then they'll get into region play and look to make a run. Like we said, this team has it all. They have some offense. They can play some defense. Gavin will talk about this team being kind of young, but they know what they're doing. They've gelled throughout the season. Got some big wins over Liberty, LCA, William Fleming, just to name a few. And we'll see what they can do. But listen to Coach Best and Gavin here as they give their thoughts on the season and what they have to do going forward to make a run there to get to the Siegel Center. Sports Podcast. We're with the EC Glass Hilltoppers basketball. We're here with Coach DJ Best and Mr. Gavin Arthur. Coach, 2 weeks off for snow. A lot of concern there about timing and rhythm. But you come back last week with two big high-level wins, 6-point win, road win over Jefferson Forest, and 7-point win there over LCA. How do you guys feel about coming back? How'd you like the emphasis on staying sharp, to staying, execution-wise? How'd you feel about last week?
So thanks for having us. I don't really. I'm a big critique, and Gavin will tell you. I don't think we were really sharp at all, and it's kind of weird. One of the hot buttons for us is kind of winning the day. And so if you take it, we kind of still haven't put together full 32 minutes. But we're doing good enough in certain spots where, believe it or not, we're getting off to pretty decent starts. And then we're cooling off and then having to pick it back up and close games, which is cool for down the stretch for these guys learning how to finish games. But it looked just like it was the day of practice. We had a practice Thursday. Started off really good, very high energy, just excited to be back in the gym. And then it tapered off. They started doing their own things. And we just hit this little bubble wall that the guys tend to run into, that they're not exactly locked and loaded in, but also at the same time, they are still trying to just find the energy and just excitement. It just bleeds into not paying attention and a lack of focus, and then you got to reel them back in. So just to have those 2 games under our belt, a day of practice, and then having an off day today, that I think that allows them to kind of just settle back down before Monday's game.
I think, Gavin, for you as a player, like, you go 2 weeks out playing, that can be really frustrating. I know when I didn't play for a little bit, like, you want to play against somebody else. You don't want to play against your team, or practice is just, not fun, or you can't get into it. But for you seem like you settled right in. I was watching some huddle highlights against LCA, and you put up 17. So it seemed like that weight didn't affect you at all. But how do you feel about last week?
Yes, sir. I mean, for us, it's really just the feel of the game. So, I mean, the snow, it was bad because it ruined our chemistry a little. But, I mean, we stayed in the gym outside of just school whenever we could, whenever we got where we could just move around and get in the gym with each other. And just the team chemistry that we have, that we build off of the season in the summer. It's just so important for times like this, so we can stay close, stay together, communicate, and then everybody just has a groove whenever we come back. I feel like that's a big advantage we have over a lot of teams. It's just how close we are.
And then for both of you, if you guys could comment just on the Seminole District in general, like we talked about it in football, how dangerous it is week in and week out to play against these teams. But you guys go 2 weeks out playing, and Jefferson Forest, I know the record doesn't look like it, but they might be the most dangerous. I don't know if they're like 4 and whatever they are team. I've seen them play a couple of times, and of course LCA could also be dangerous. So just talk about the Seminole District in general, as far as competition goes.
So I think I related it to, football, when you got to go through your district and play twice at the NFL level. They're probably more of your tougher games because these are coaches that know what other coaches' tendencies are. It's not in the sense of easier to scout, but you already know, hey, this is what happened the first game. We can tweak a couple things. So it does make the game a little bit easier from a time standpoint to scout and get ready for, especially after coming off of no practice from both sides. The Seminole District's a gauntlet. I mean, you could chalk up and just throw away the records and don't pay attention to anything like that, because a lot of the Seminole District guys, majority of them, they're going to play tough competition outside of the Seminole District alone. And then we get in the district play, and then we start beating each other up. So it's really the best of the best out there.
Yeah, I mean, this year alone, from all the way to the bottom to the top, it's switched completely. So, I mean, the Seminole as a whole has just gotten so much better, and it's just great competition. And you're so local that everybody knows you. So everybody knows your strengths, your weaknesses. So you just really got to make sure that you stay sharp, even when you're playing local teams like this, where, I mean, you might not see it mattering as much in the future, but it matters for your record and getting you right for playoffs and just continuing down the road.
All right, Coach Gavin, not to say that EC Glass is not in the hunt and hasn't been in the hunt in a while, not to say that whatsoever. But as you well know, I know you all listen to our program every week, EC Glass #1 team in the Super 12 for District 2 Sports Podcast. So what does that mean now for both of you, that you are now being hunted versus being the hunter?
So my wife is a big time listener of you guys' show. And so without her, I honestly wouldn't know where we are. And so she tells me every time you guys post it, you guys are still #1. You're still #1. But, I put out a video last year that kind of did some numbers in the local area where I said everything runs through EC Glass. And I think that put the bullseye on our back right there. But I got a team who's willing to run through fire and break down barriers to back that up. And so I think, to be honest, I think we've been the hunted for the last 2-3 years. And Gavin being a 4-year player on varsity, this being his senior season, I think he's just adapted it, and the guys underneath him have just followed behind his suit. And it allows us to not really decrease our level of play. So many times when you go from being the hunter to the hunted, you don't kind of know what it feels like to get everybody's best punch every single night. And I think that you can see that. You can physically, we can go watch, we'll just take LCA and Amherst. Maybe let's just say they play tomorrow. We can go watch that game and be like, we know we're not going to see these two teams play like this, and it just allows us to stay sharp, even though someone's record might be 3-13. We know when they step in the gym and they got a chance to play glass and be the person that can beat us, then you're going to get their best punch for 32 minutes.
For us, hey, we're the hunted, but we're so hungry and we're so young that I think we're still the hunters. Like, we've got more to prove. People keep adding to the plate. Like, we're not finished yet of what we want to show. We haven't shown what we can do fully yet, and we're still growing. We're still getting better. So I feel like we still, in a sense, are the hunters because we're not done.
You kind of alluded to it. Both of you kind of alluded to it. I mean, Lynchburg, I guess, metro area, you probably see people and coaches, basically in passing every day. And coach, you just said something a minute ago, tossed out the records. It might not be a rivalry, but when you see somebody on a daily basis, I mean, they're going to not necessarily know every step, but they're going to know your game. I mean, how true is that?
Oh, I'm going to say 100% true. And I think that, like, for instance, LCA, we knew that they shoot the cover off the basketball, and Coach Klein knew we were going to pressure the basketball. So that at least you already could take that out the game. You know that that's getting ready to happen. It's now, how do you play in between those lines that he can adjust on his end or we can adjust on ours. Not over panicking because they do hit some shots and then you start to overcorrect. And I think it allows us to kind of also go back and, my big thing to tell the guys, and it isn't anything crazy. It's look in the mirror. As much film as we watch and as much preparation as we have for the next opponent, we got to watch what the person in the mirror is doing, because that's our biggest opponent every single time we hit the floor. Everybody's going to do what they do great, but if we can do what we're supposed to do and just do it better, it just allows us every time we take the floor a chance to win.
So Gavin, I got a question for you here. So my first introduction to really EC Glass basketball, seeing y'all in person, was that I guess it was the fourth game of the season against LCA. And if there's one word to describe Gavin's game, because I know Big G and Gregory were not there, but totally unconscious in the second half. I mean, that guy literally was going off, carrying the team on his back. So Gavin, just to ask, I mean, where did that game come from? And how have you kind of carried the momentum from that game into the rest of the season so far?
I mean, from the summer, from games just being so close to the summer till now, we've always said it and we continue to say it, that we've been in these situations. So being down, 17 with 5 minutes left in the game, that was insane. I mean, everybody in the stands thought we had lost by that point. The game's over. Like, they're going home. But us as a group in the timeouts and the huddles, staying together, we knew that we had been there and we could find a way to pull it out. So, I mean, I don't know. I felt like my shot was good that whole game and it wasn't falling. But then Jimmy Hughes, right at the end of the quarter, gave me that one look for three. I hit it, and from there, it was just the ball kept finding me, and I was like, if my team has the ability to trust me, I've got to go do something for the team. So I made sure that we could have a chance to pull that one out near the end.
And the thing, too, I also want to ask real quick, Big G, before you get going.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, with you having like guys like Jameek and Harris on the team, and y'all are a pretty young team overall. I mean, despite being 15-0, y'all are very young this year. With you being one of the elder statesmen on the team, I mean, how have you kind of guided those guys, taking them underneath your wing?
Yeah, I mean, Coach is really good with all this. So he's talked to me like what to say to them, and like he's also talked directly to them. But like a big thing we have to do is stay humble, and we've adapted win the day. So that really like humbles us, as if, okay, well, it's a brand new day. Like whatever happened yesterday, the highs and the lows, we want to stay neutral. We want to always just do what you can do what you do best, play your role. So no matter what happens, we just always know that the person next to us has us, and I think that's one thing that we've really adapted and been good with this year, is no matter how young we are, just depend on the next person next to you and do it for somebody else other than yourself.
All right, there's a media outlet right there with y'all called WSCT, and Devin happened to be giving us play-by-play that Friday night. I'll be honest with you, if I wouldn't have had him there, I would have just gone ahead and canceled the ball game. Ball game's over with 5 minutes left to go. But what I'm getting to is, Coach, I don't know if the kids are over at dogpiling on the floor after the game. I didn't see it, but here you come giving an interview, and you're just like, you just step right out of church and just calm, collect. And how do you suppress those feelings? And not only that night, but you go over and at Heritage. I saw the highlights of that game. You go over to Heritage, beat them at their place. I know it's a rivalry game. How do you suppress those emotions?
The locker room. I try to practice exactly what we tell the kids. Enjoy the moment when we're in the moment. Do it with class when it's time to do it with class. But overall, it's act like you've been there before. Are the games big? Was the comeback against LCA huge? Absolutely. But just like Gavin said, we went in understanding that as long as there's time running on the clock, we've given ourselves a chance to win. We didn't execute the game plan early in the beginning, and then 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they decided to turn on the switch and say, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. And so being able to go into the locker room after the games and just kind of debrief and celebrate and then come back out and change the face and say, okay, here we go. The public image needs to see someone different. I think it's just kind of it becomes the face, and then inside they get to see a different Coach DJ.
I want to take it back to last year for both of you guys, Coach Best and Gavin. 23-5 overall, 13-1 in the Seminole. I think 4 games you lost by maybe the most was like 6 points, so a lot of close losses there. You do lose to the eventual state champion there, Atlee, who had the 4A Player of the Year. But I watched the highlights of that game. You guys gave them all that you guys could give them. They blew out Ryan in the state championship. I felt like that game, I guess you guys in the semifinal might have been the state champion game, actually. But so get your thoughts on last year, what you were able to learn, and how did that postseason run kind of, guide you guys to this season and getting prepared?
That game, I'll go first, G. That game said I needed to find some size and I needed to find it fast. We got killed on the glass. We were able to kind of battle just because of our ability to be scrappy, our ability to be quicker. But shooting over towers every single time, we just didn't have any of the height to match up. And then trying to run them off the line and not having anybody, no real rim protection inside is really what, ultimately killed us. We did give them our best punch. We had a kid go down and tried to come back out and give it everything he got, one of our bigs, and he just couldn't do it. But it did show that size isn't very much, it's important, but, for me at Glass, I haven't had very much. This is the biggest team I've had in my 8 years, and, it looks good and it feels great to have it, but we haven't changed a bit in what we're doing on the floor. We just understand that we've got rim protection behind us, so we can gamble a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel like last year was one of those years where we knew from the beginning of the year that we had a chance. So the whole year, we just knew that we would have to stay together and really grind it out. I think last year is where we really adapted the win the day speech. So I think with that motto and that type of play style that we adapted last year, it's really carried over to this year, and especially at that Atlee game where we had some younger players come up for us with playoffs. They really saw the fight, and even when we're down, the way we would pick each other up last year and the way the brotherhood was, I think some of the younger guys like David Matthews and Cohen Brim, I think they saw that and they've really adapted that into this year's locker room and just spread the brotherhood throughout the whole team.
This might be kind of a rapid fire kind of question, or just a kind of jumbled up mess in my eyes or estimation. But going back to last year, as Gregory just said, what's your motivation? Is there a motivation? Is this the retribution tour? Is this something that where Coach, you've put up a picture of the Siegel Center in everybody's locker and made sure everybody knows what the end result or end goal is? Where's all the motivation coming from this year?
You know, that's actually a pretty good idea. I should have did it that way. Um, I don't know if you guys have heard, since the summertime, we've been doing 6 a.m. stairs, and we haven't been doing them for no reason. And so I think the point is, and I told him this, and I tell everybody this, EC Glass is going to win a state championship. I don't know if it's going to be this year. I don't know if it's going to be next year. I don't know who's going to be on the team, but I know I'm going to be driving the bus. And either you're going to get on it with us, or we're gonna thank you for paving the way. And I think that we've been so close for the last 5 years, knocking on the door, qualifying for states, getting there, losing by 3, getting there, losing to Atlee, losing to Loudoun County my first year when we qualified. And it's just like every time we lose to the person that gets there and wins or gets there and loses. And so it's always, all right, we got to figure out what more can we do. But every year we've bought somebody around from that team. Gavin's the last one that lost it at the Siegel Center. And he got to see as a freshman what it took, the grit that we had to have every single day. And I think he just understood even what we did then, it wasn't enough because we didn't win. And so we got to figure out a way to do more. These kids being off of practice for 2 weeks and getting on the floor, and to the naked eye, the people in the stands, they're like, wow, they didn't miss a beat. You get back into the locker room and they're telling each other all the stuff that they messed up on that they got to do better before the next one. That when you can have a player-led team, it makes the team a whole lot better, because I don't have to drive that bus. I don't have to be the person disciplined all the time. If I tell the guys that we got to do something at 9 o'clock, and I'd like them to be there by 8:55, but they'll get there at 9 o'clock. And they know if someone shows up after 9 that we all run until it gets here. And so it just becomes that type of self-disciplined team that they probably literally right now could show up to a gym and run a practice.
Yeah, I mean, from the community that EC Glass has built and Coach DJ has made, I mean, every year, no matter what, it's a family. So you're a part of EC Glass once you're there and once you leave. So from the older guys reaching out to us, talking to us, mentoring us, to the younger guys coming up that we're doing that for. I mean, you're not just doing it for yourself or the team, but you're doing it for your community and the teams before you. So, I mean, that's just a lot of motivation right there. Just knowing that you're not doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for others who were trying to do it as well. And now they're looking at you to do the same thing that they wish they could have done.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it's funny that Cap said that. Is my favorite time of the year is the Christmas break, because a lot of teams kind of take that off, and we usually play down at Spotswood, and then we usually go to the Chance Harmon. But we usually have a lot of guys from all over the last year's teams and stuff like that come back home, and we have the alumni day, where the new guys get to play all the old guys. And at the end of the day, the old guys give them those words of wisdom, what they learned, what they wish they would have took advantage of while they were there. And this year, having close to 30 past guys show up and be able to talk to the team this year was huge. And I think every year it just continues to get more and more. So I think Gavin's right that family aspect that we've built at Glass just shows that whoever's wearing the jersey this year, you're doing it for a brand way bigger than just yourself.
Coach, going back to last year, I keep talking about that Atlee game, but I was watching highlights, and I can't remember which kid it was who was guarding Will Hopkins there for Atlee, but it seemed like every time you guys scored, you guys were getting in their face. I forgot what number it was, but he was always in Will Hopkins' rear. I mean, he had to know what kind of bubble gum he was chewing that game, but he was always in his face. But I just want to know, like, how do you build that type of identity into your team, or is that maybe some of the mentality that some of the kids bring to the program as well?
So that would be Adrian Farmer last year. Probably one of our better, him and James Ferguson are better on-ball defenders last year. And I think they bring it, and then it's my job as a coach to dig just a little bit more out of them. Because, if you go back before that, we had Walker Wood, who was my do-it-all guy. He never hit the stat book, but he always did the little things right. And you have to have some people like that who are just willing to do the dirty things. The person that's James Ferguson last year couldn't throw a grape in the ocean. But he said, I would guard whoever needs to be stopped so we have a chance to win every single night. And then when you can have kids that want to be that person where they can sit down and play defense and limit people from scoring, you're never going to stop them. But you can limit. And, that's what happened with LCA. Our 5 guys stopped their big 3 or limited their big 3 from taking the game over and really blowing it out. And that gives us a chance to win every single night when I know that, hey, I've got 1 or 2 guys that I feel confident that can take somebody away, change a game plan, those types of things. And if someone else is going to beat us, we got to let somebody else beat us.
And Gavin, I have a question for you for you're a senior. What part of the game or what aspects of your game are you working on this season to prepare for your future?
I think definitely shooting. Everything that I've seen and everything that I've heard, if you can really shoot the ball and you can get your shot off, you can play at any level of basketball. So I think that's a huge thing that I wanted to just add on to this year. Like last year, I didn't dribble as much, which I was more of the 3-and-D player. But this year, I think even just adding on to that, just being a more reliable shooter, someone that I know when I shoot it, I can feel more confident in it, and just being able to move to different spots of the floor and just feeling more comfortable throughout the whole floor, I feel was a big thing for me. So just really working on my shot and working to get better all around.
43% from behind the 3-point line.
I'm gonna ask a question out of pure bliss and ignorance here. Who hit the shot? And I'm gonna get to a point in the map here. So who hit the shot against Northside last year?
Will Wesley, ice cold Will.
Okay. So, Coach, and this is pretty much on you right now, and then Gavin, I'm coming back to you because it's a dual threat here. So, Coach, what does it mean to you? And we interviewed Coach Pope last year, and that question came up, about that shot, and he was like, and the way he explains this shot is just like it's just like he's telling you a story. I was sitting right there behind it, and the shot goes up, and it really looked good, and it went in. I mean, he just walked us all the way through this thing, but at the same time, great shot, great game. Coach Best is one of the best coaches that I've ever come across. And what I'm getting at here, what does it mean? And I had the pleasure, and I kind of jumbled up here, but I had the pleasure of meeting Jamar Lovelace over during the football season. How important is it to have someone in your corner, such as a Jamar, or to hear other coaches, admiring your capabilities and your abilities? What does that mean for you, and to also have the following that you have at EC Glass?
I think it's huge. Thank you, Coach Pope. If you're ever listening, I appreciate it. I speak very highly of Coach Pope. I speak very highly of Coach Lovelace as well within our own program. But when you have people that just kind of follow you, it lets you know that you're doing something the right way. It's also good to see people rally behind those, even when they're not in the same room. I think that the cool thing is, you want to be surrounded by better coaches so you can continue to learn from some of the things that they're doing, no matter what it is that they coach. And when I surround myself with some of those guys and just kind of keep their numbers in my phone so I can reach out and talk to them and just kind of get a listening ear, that's always been the thing. I'm just a steward of the game. I don't have any problem going up to Coach Lovelace and asking him a question about a situation, whether it's from within the locker room or, how would he handle X, Y, and Z. Same way I wouldn't have a problem calling Coach Pope and say, hey, Coach Pope, you guys have been building this fuel tank for years. It's like you just continue to keep replenish. How are you doing it? So I can at least figure out how every year I don't have to feel like I'm starting from brand new and, learning some of those ropes that they have. It allows just an opportunity for me to just continue to keep learning.
And Gavin, I told you this was a B part to this, so I'm getting there. Everybody loves dirt. Everybody wants dirt on somebody. So, this is your opportunity right now on Coach Best. I mean, does Coach Best, how bad is his dancing? How good is his dancing? I mean, how laughable are his speeches, or how ear burning are his speeches? I mean, give us something.
Man, I can't throw dirt on his speeches. I mean, there's been times where we're in the locker room and he has told us they need 4 threes. They don't get more than 4 threes. And let me tell you, they hit 4 threes and we won the game by 1 point. His numbers, he is such an analytics guy and he watches so much film. He works harder than anyone. That it's down to a T. I mean, I don't know how he does it sometimes. Sometimes you don't believe it, but you go back and look at it and he tells you, and he was exactly right. So, I mean, just to be blessed with a coach like as good as Coach DJ was a blessing in disguise. I mean, I really love it, and I think the guys do. I mean, the dancing, he's a little off rhythm with that, but other than that, I think he's definitely got everything down to a T.
Yeah, I'm going back to you here. So, I mean, do you want to play basketball at the next level? And then if you do, what offers or what letters in the mail have you gotten so far for colleges, and what are you looking for in a college as well?
Yes, sir. I mean, I would definitely love to play college at the next level. That's such a big opportunity and such an achievement that not many get to do. And just, I mean, anywhere really. I haven't gotten much interest or looks. I've had people talk to me about what I like to go here, or this coach has said they really like what they see, but nothing like one-on-one really. So, I mean, anything. And school-wise, I'm not picky, to be honest. I just want to go somewhere and play basketball, to be honest. I mean, I'll keep the grades up. I'll definitely look into something, but I haven't looked too far down the road for a major or something school-wise.
Well, Gavin, I can honestly say that, seeing your highlights, I think you can definitely play at the next level, and we'll do what we can to kind of help you out there. We speak to a lot of ODAC coaches, some D2 coaches as well, so maybe we can do something there for you, or help out at least, or get some highlights out there. But Coach Best, what are you, as far as coaching-wise, or maybe even just a mentor-wise, how are you mentoring these kids looking at the next level, and how are you handling those college questions?
So, I don't know, certain people when you ask a question, you get a different answer versus me. It's like a parent thing. So we always start off with that when we first sit down for the interest meeting every single year. How many kids want to go to college? How many kids, don't want to go to college? How many kids want to play at the next level? And I think that's always the thing. And so, so many resources now out there without utilizing the old school method of picking up the phone, just hand dialing every single person. Last year, I got back on what was Twitter then is now X, just for the simple reason of being able to reach so many more people at a higher clip than I can anything else. We've got a massive media team that's putting together certain highlights, putting clips together for individuals to try to get them out there, get the views out there, all of those types of things. The guys always have the grades. That's always the plus. I said it's got to get it done in the class. You're talking about Gavin, 4.2 GPA. That's it easy. It's a whole easier when the coach calls because obviously he's calling. He's already interested. But as soon as you tell him anything, 3 point, 4 point, the conversation keeps going. That number starts to drop. It kind of teeters and goes a different direction. And I tell them I'm going to do as much work as they're going to do. And what that means is I don't have a problem picking up the phone, calling, getting on the computer, emailing, going to taking kids to workouts, anything like that, to give them even just a chance. But they got to be willing to do the work. If you're missing free workouts and open workouts for open gym and open runs, or you're showing up late, I'm not going to lie for you. Because that's my name and next level stuff that you're gonna put a bad name on for, and it's your job to put on a show when we do get anybody in the gym. Oddly enough, I don't even know if I told him yesterday. Gavin had a spectator sitting in the gym, and as I was walking out, he said, he 21 put on a show for me. He didn't even know I was here. So it's starting. Gavin's starting to get his looks. I feel bad for the kids though, if we're going to be honest, because of the way we play, because of the way that I coach. We don't have a kid that's going to score 25 a night like Amandre Harris did, but we have three kids right now that's averaging double digits, but you get 10, 13, 17. Like, do those numbers jump out when you're looking around everybody else within this region and you have a couple kids that are in the 22 to 26 points per game, you know? That kind of does, I feel like it does hurt them. But I also know that the guys, it takes a lot to get these guys to buy into playing this way versus let me go get mine, let me go get mine, let me go get mine. I'll take a winning team and 3 to 4 kids in the double digits with the opportunity to sell it to a next level coach and say, this guy will do whatever you need him to do, whether it's 2 points or 20 points. He'll go give you everything you need.
Well, Coach, I want to ask you a question, and Gavin, you feel free to jump here too if you'd like. But I mean, obviously the 4As and the 5As are kind of few and far between here in the South Side of Virginia. I mean, you look at the 4A rankings, and you got Broad Run up north, you got Hampton, Varina, all those schools out east. How do you, being down here in little old Lynchburg, how do you keep those guys hungry, and how do you prepare them for play? Obviously, don't want to look past the regular season. We know we still got like 10 days of that. But how do you get these guys before the playoffs and playing some of those, obviously the same size schools, but playing some of those schools out east and up north?
So I think the biggest thing that I've taken over these last 3 years is different live periods that I've taken the kids to. It's allowed us and it's allowed them to visually play teams who are already really great. This past summer, we had the ability to play Albemarle in the summertime. They're like 15-1 right now. We had the pleasure of playing Green Run. I think they're like 15-3. We had the pleasure of playing Kings Fork. We've had the pleasure of playing teams in South Carolina. And so when you get to play teams like that, that you already know they're going to play deep, they're going to be good. Going to the North Side summer camp and playing Patrick Henry and playing some of those teams out there that are going to be physical, they're going to be gritty. Those are the things that I want to see. Where are we at from a team standpoint? I learned a lot about my team before we even hit November, just based off of a summer schedule. We played Denby, who's also up there in the 4A rankings. We played them over the summer. I know that they were missing a couple kids, but it's good to get some of those games under our belt. We played Granby. It's good to get some of those games under our belt where we can look back and say, where were we then? Where are we now? And understanding, how much we still have to go. But a lot of the summer work, man, it allows us an opportunity to see where the expectation can go for the team.
My final question for both of you guys. 6 games remaining. How close are you to where you want to be for this team, and what areas must you most improve upon before you get to postseason play?
Take it away, Cap.
I don't think we're close at all, to be honest. I think we've got so much more to prove. People are going to talk, and they're going to talk good, and they're going to talk bad. And to be honest, it's been all bad recently. So they're saying that we're the only undefeated team in Virginia. They're going back to our schedule. They say on our schedules week. They're saying that we're just not playing the amount of competition that these other teams are playing. But beginning of the season, people wanted to come and say that we had a hard schedule and they didn't see how we were going to be able to make it through the schedule and get to the postseason, which I don't know. I think that personally we've got so much more to prove that we're still hungry. And that's why earlier I said I feel like we're still the hunters, because if you're hungry enough, you're going to go get it. And I feel like that's what we got. We got a bunch of guys who are young and hungry and a bunch of guys who are old and experienced that just know what it takes. And Coach DJ being behind us with the experience that he has, just telling us and paving the way for us, really showing us what it takes to get to that next level. And they always say that we're at this glass wall, and we just need to break it. We need to go through it. We need to go through the ceiling. We need to break that barrier and get to the next level. So I don't think we want to stop at the ceiling. I think we want to break.
And so I'll say I think it's kind of weird that I put it into business terms. These guys are commission based driven. So they eat what they kill, and I say that hypothetically because the mantra has been win the day. Well, here we are. We've played 15 games, and what if I told you through 15 games since November, this team has had only one bad practice, and we talked about it. Is it really a one bad practice, or was it just not up to the standard of all the other ones? They really have changed the way that the practice style has, because it's a new day every single day. We're finding new problems to have. We're finding new mistakes. We're finding new solutions. And I think that kind of keeps the edge. We're changing up practice constantly, so that way they're constantly uncomfortable. There isn't a situation right now that they haven't been in that can be brought into them in a game and they say, oh snap, Coach DJ didn't prepare us for this. And I think that does help them. We practice scenarios. I didn't want to use it in real life, but we practice scenarios being down by 17, down by 19. Hey, you've got a quarter and a half. You're coming out of halftime. You're down 10. What do you do to kind of bounce back? And so it's kind of cool that you see all the little details and all the fun games that I put together for practice. And then they get into the real game and it's like, oh, we've been here before. We did this in practice. And then they go execute it. It really makes us have a lot of fun in practice, that by the time we're done and they're like, wait, it's over. And I'm like, yeah, you guys have been in here for a while. It's time to go home. And they're like, well, can we just do 15 more minutes? Sure. Let's knock it out. It brings a lot of love and joy most times at this point in the season, so many kids are burnt out and stuff like that these guys are still wanting to be in the gym. And I think that's just a testament to what they want to do. As Gavin saying, they want to find a way to break through that barrier.
I love it. Well, that's all the questions we have, but we have a rapid fire session for Gavin, if Gavin wants to do it, if he's ready.
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. So, all right, ready? I'm going to give you two options here. Your first thing comes to your mind, okay? Win at home or win away?
Win at home.
Weight room or film study day?
Film study.
Have you seen Gavin?
Let's be going here for Coach. So this is I think Coach is watching you right here. Offense or defense?
Offense.
So this one's going both ways. The older people go one way, the younger people are going a different way on this one. So Powerade or Gatorade?
Gatorade.
Oh, okay,
yes.
good.
Thank you, Gav. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All the high schoolers and college kids are saying Powerade these days. I don't know what's going on. So, drive to the rim or pull up jumper?
Drive to the rim.
There we go. Oh, I think Coach Best is that guy's a prize. I figured you get to the rim in Coach Best's offense. If you taking pull up jumpers, might be an issue there. Unless you're hitting in a good range, but 46%, is that what you said?
Yeah, 43 from behind the arc.
Love it. Most likely to for you, Gavin, ankle breaker or dunk on somebody?
Ankle breaker. I haven't gotten there yet.
Pre-game food.
Ooh, I love when we have our chicken Alfredo. That's the best one. We're gonna play good when they bring out the chicken Alfredo.
Is that from a certain restaurant, or is someone's mom on the team making it?
To be honest, I'm not sure. It can be either way, though, I think.
Okay. Where are you going for after a post-game win?
Post-game win, the team will either go to cookout or tea room. We always do it as a team.
Like that. And then lastly, pre-game music.
Pre-game music, got to be some Drake. I love Drake.
Nice. Okay. Do you control the aux or the Bluetooth in the locker room, or who gets the Bluetooth?
Definitely not.
The young guys beat him up for the aux there. You ain't got to worry about that one.
Perfect.
I love that.
Perfect.
Gavin, what are you ordering when you go to the tea room?
Hot dogs. Definitely gonna hot dogs, and then a hamburger. Some of the team will get the Western or the cheesy. So it's just a variety. Still.
I love it. Well, you heard it here from Gavin and Coach Best of the EC Glass Hilltoppers. Guys, we can't thank you enough for coming on and joining us tonight.
I appreciate you for having us.
Thank you all, and good luck to you guys the rest of the season. 6 games away from the postseason, and we hope to see you guys in region play.
Thank you so much. Go Toppers.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.